We'll give it one more minute, then we get started for tonight's web's presentation. All right, let's get started. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Ichen Art Academy's webinar. My name is Jason. I'm co-founder Ichen Art Academy. Sitting tonight with me are our Ichen Art Academy instructors, Mr. Ryan, Ms. Shasha, Mr. Derek, and Ichen. Together, we will be presenting, introducing you this year's summer art program. Okay. First, let me give a quick introduction of our program. Traditionally, the summer art program has been part of our overall comprehensive and systematic K-12 art education. And as you know, during school years, our focus has been mainly on foundation building. So students come to a class once a week to build up their foundations. Right? It is only during the summer quarter that we offer a wide variety of programs and mediums. And these programs enable our students to have accelerated learning, fulfill certain prerequisites for regular class. For example, oil painting, digital art, 3D modeling, and AP art prep, and also using the time to build up their portfolios, like for art competition, for AP art or college portfolios, right? The one of the key success factors about our program, I would say, is because we have many of our art instructors. They are renowned professional artists themselves, and some are in college professors, right? So this is actually going down to the essence of our Ichen Art Academy. Now this is our 14th year for Fremont and our 10th year anniversary for Pleasanton, right? And for more than 10 years, I would say, we only focus on these two sides and try to bring the quality to the best as they can be, right? We've done that for a purpose because we're not really interested in franchising or, expansion, so to say, but we want to, for the students and the area that we serve, we want them to be the best they can be, right? So we have actually 8 years documented summer camp and workshop artwork, student artwork and photos available on our Facebook photo albums. And for those of you who are interested, or if you are new to our program, feel free to explore. Just go to Facebook/Ichen Art Academy. That's one word, and look at the album over there. Right. The main thing about our summer art program, I would say, it has provided, historically has provided a competitive advantage for our students in their foundation building, portfolio development, career planning, and college applications. Like, let's take a look on each of those. Actually, before I start, this is this year's program, right? On the top level view, we have like 26 summer art camps for age 5 to 9, 25 like digital art and animation camps for ages 9 and above, and over 60 art workshops for ages 11 and older. In addition, we also have 30 plus like a regular once a week class during summer, right? These information are all available on our website. Now let's take a look at the competitive advantage that I mentioned. What are they? How we define it, right? As you know, many of our students, if they are not art major, we have helped them over the years submit when they get to the senior year, apply for college. they will submit a supplemental art portfolio, right, as part of their college application. And over the years, and this is the result that we have. We have such small school with a small, very limited student body, but so far we have get very impressive results. These non-art major students are able to submitting their supplemental art portfolio, which helped them get into this very top art colleges, competitive private colleges. And actually, I have one piece of good news to share about this year, because even though this year's result has yet to be fully published, right? And we already know one of our students, Aiden Peters, who is a non-art major student. This year, he got accepted by MIT. Aiden has also submitted a supplemental portfolio to every school that he applied, even though they're all engineering schools. But the portfolio he presented is so strong that it must have made a long-lasting impression for the admission officer. So this definitely helped him get into the top schools. He's still waiting for other schools results, which will come out soon, right? The second one is for those students aiming for art college or design-related major. This is the result that we have for the past, I would say, 10 years. Actually, for this year, we already know there are students who get into very top schools, right? For example, the top on the list, Art Center Entertainment Design. This year, we have our senior student, Gwyneth Zhao, who is get accepted by Art Center Entertainment Design. She became the seventh student at our school, got into this very top program, right, since 2020, right? And another student, Audrey Chow, also got accepted by CalArt Character Animation. This is the #1 animation school in the world. It's Disney funded. And she became the 10th student, right, from our school, get into this program since 2018, right? And this result actually sets a big difference about like our school compared to the others, because if you have the chance to look at other schools' results, chances are most schools, they wouldn't even have one student to can get into this top, very top program. We have now reached the double digit, right? This speaks volume about the quality of our program, right? And the summer program that we offer is actually part of the key component of the services and program that we offer. Okay. Another metrics that we use to measure is the National Art Contest. As you know, when students get to high school and when they participate in those national or international or regional art contest or any contest, the award they receive, they will count as their high school achievements, right? And this year's scholastic result has yet to be announced because it got delayed. So I was using last year's result, right? Last year we have over 161 awards from our students, right? And the summer happened to be a great time for students to learn new skills and also prepare artwork and for their those scholastic art contests, right? They can get multiple things accomplished in one session, right? So, okay. All right, let's review the rest of this evening's agenda. I will start giving a general guideline on camp selection and also a brief introduction about regular classes. Then Mr. Derek will talk about the summer art camp for ages 5 to 9. And Ms. Sasha will introduce the digital art and animation camps. Then Mr. Ryan will talk about in detail the summer art workshops for ages 11 and older. Then we will conclude tonight's webinar with a Q&A session. All right. General guideline on the camp selection, right? The key takeaway from that is we would like you to think strategize for success, right? That means integrate your child art education into their college application plan. Right? This is it takes multiple years of planning, And when you plan accordingly, actually, as you can see, the result can be very rewarding and beneficial. All right. And for students currently in grade 8 or through grade 11, we have already sent out an announcement. You can schedule a free 15-minute consultation session with our APR teacher. This is a service that we provide. We made a commitment to our students for the last at least 4 years. Every year, we will provide a 15-minute free consultation to grade 8 and above level students. Right? This is the time for you to have your portfolio reviewed, get suggestions on courses to take, and also, design the plan for your like high school art education and even the college application, right? For students in grade 7 or lower, you can contact our school office for advice if you have questions or concerns or anything. Just you can just walk in during business hours, and our office staff will be more than happy to help you with that. Because many of our programs are age and level based, especially for 9 and older. So that's why you need to know what your current level is, and you have to look at the level that's appropriate before you make a selection, right? Next thing I want to mention is practice makes perfect. This means because each year we offer a certain number of programs. And if you have already taken a program once before, for example, oil painting for beginner, it doesn't mean you have already become an expert in that, especially if you have not done that for the last 12 months, right? So this will be a time for you to hone in the technical skill, and you can retake those same camp but work on different subject to keep practicing and make it better, right? And the last but not least is we want to mention this because we do have limited spots, and if you sign up, once you receive the invoice, we'd like you to get the payment done within 3 days to secure the spot, right? All right, camp selection guide in general. We have an age-based, that's age 5 to 9. We call it summer art camps. Ages 9 and older, we have digital art and animation camps, right? And the ages 11 and older, we have summer art workshops. The information is available on our website. Let me just show you where to find this information. If you go to Ichen Art Academy under 2024 Summer Art Program, 5 to 9, this is 9 and older digital art and workshops. And then here we have a selection guide, right? So if you click on that, if you know your current level, let's say you're DS1, you can click on that. Here we have listed the program that's appropriate for this level. This is general. And it says digital art and animation camp you can attend, or these acrylic or gouache painting camps, and so on and so forth, right? So that's how you can find the general information about what camps levels are appropriate for you. All right. Next one, I want to quickly mention the summer regular classes. We still offer the regular class during summer, but they will only be offered on Saturdays and Sundays only, okay? And certain classes like APR prep, digital art, oil painting, these regular classes will not be available during Q3, but instead we will offer a lot more like APR bootcamp, digital art workshops at different levels, and oil painting workshops instead, right? And for students on a 12 months plan, you are required to register for the summer quarter. So you do have a choice. You can register for a once a week class for the entire summer, or you can just sign up for 1 week of our summer camp or workshop to satisfy the requirements for each 12 months plan that you have, right? And those who sign up for summer camp or workshop, you can consider, for those who join our summer camp for the first time, you can also consider joining our 12-month plan, because as part of the benefit you attending our summer workshop, or work summer camp, you will receive a $5 per class tuition discount for the next 3 quarters, right? So that's the benefit for signing up for 12 months plan. Okay, next I want to quickly mention the workshop discount, summer camp workshop discount. We have early bird discount that before April 1st. For each camp you sign up, you will receive a $10 discount. And we also have multi-camp discount. That means if you sign up 3 or more camps at the same time, and each will receive a $10 discount, right? And this is actually the biggest discount we have. That's called whole day camp discount. If you sign up both the morning and afternoon camp / workshop during the same week, you will receive a $195 discount, right? Compared to signing up 2 separate camps, right? The 2 half-day camp, if you combine them into one whole day camp, that count as one whole day camp instead of 2 half-day camp. Just want to make a clarification on that. All right, with that, I will pass it on to Mr. Derek, who will be introduce you about the summer art program. Derek.
Hello. All right, let me get my presentation going. All right, let me back up. All right, so for our 2024 Summer Art Camp programs, I'm Mr. Moore. I'm the instructor. I've been here for quite a few years, 7 or 8. Sometimes I lose count. And every year we develop a bunch of fun camps for our young students, and we do more of a group, kind of catching from, say, roughly kindergarten, 1st grade age to about 4th grade age, so ages 5 to 9. So during these camps, you know, we try to develop creative design skills through drawing, painting, and animation. And there's a lot of other materials that I'll talk about shortly that we get to play with. One of our main goals is to cultivate imaginative thinking and expression through various art forms. So some of that is 2-dimensional, some of it's 3-dimensional. So we touch on watercolor, colored pencils, crayons, pastels, different types of paper, and there's even a lot of crafting, recycling materials, using clay, sculpture, paper mache. The thing that I enjoy about this too is the collaborative effort that we get to have our students do. And what happens is we have a lot of young kids that may have a lot of trouble with hand-eye coordination at first. Well, I wouldn't say trouble, but they're just young, and sometimes they require a little bit more time or just take a little bit more effort to figure things out. And we'll try to pair some of our older kids and have like this nice, almost like mentorship kind of going on with them. So the older kid gets to feel empowered through helping younger kids, and the younger kids get a little bit of extra help too. So we all collaborate towards a goal. Another thing about the collaborative project is that we will have individual projects where each kid will get to take home their own types of artwork. And there'll be large projects that we have to work as a group, such as a diorama, or in the animation camps, we do a large backdrop or the scenery where, you know, we paint together, we design together, we make choices as a group, we vote on how the project goes. So they have not only a chance to execute the project, but say so on how it actually turns out. So the schedule for our camp typically starts from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. So that would be the morning camp. We have about a 1-hour lunch, and we encourage you to bring your own lunch. But we do have snack breaks. So within that 3 hour block from 9 to 12, or 9, 10, 11, 4 hour block, excuse me. It's 10, 11, 12, yeah. We have a snack break and we'll provide the snacks, and the same thing with the afternoon. We also have a few snacks. The next thing. So here's a preview of what our camps are looking like for Fremont and Pleasanton. We try to really select different themes that encompass a wide variety of interests and that will stimulate kids in different ways. Sometimes we touch on superheroes, fairy tales, this idea of a Toyland Kingdom, which will be an animation camp. Pirates and Vikings are usually a big hit with the boys, but a lot of the girls tend to really enjoy that class too. Fantasy creatures, Wonderland Discovery, and we try to touch on like animals, people, environment, and also sort of bring a little bit of like the science and history into these projects. So it helps to bring interest to those other subjects in school later on, giving kids more of a tactile or like a fun sensory experience to relate to those things. So here's some samples or pictures of us in action. We've done multi-layered pastel projects where the students had to use pastels, cut out shapes, build it, and take their time with these projects. Some of these projects were centered around different regions or cultures. So we got to do a little history or a little geography tied into this, multiculturalism. Here's a photo of us last year doing our Ice Age stop motion animation camp where we did a large backdrop that the kids got to paint. We even created icebergs out of paint, cardboard, tape, glue, and paper mache our animals and got to paint them. Towards the end of the camp, we like to have our kids display their accomplishments. So you can see the wide variety of different projects we do, 2D and 3D. Some more happy campers. And you can see some of our stop motion camps, we had a lot last year. You can see we did paper mache, some wire crafting, sculpture, wide variety of materials, a backdrop. And the students seemed to really enjoy that process. It was really rewarding as an instructor to be able to lead them through those types of programs. So I'm really proud of that. So last, I'm going to switch over to our website and do all right.
All right, thanks, Derek. Next is Ms. Sasha, who will be talking about digital art and animation camps. Sasha?
Okay, yes, I'll take over. All right. So I'll be going over the digital art and animation camp for the ages 9 and above. Let me get to full screen. Okay. All right, so about digital art and animation camp, this is a weekly in-person and online camp for both Fremont and Pleasanton campus from Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And we also have classes from 1 to 4 p.m. as well. This class is suitable for students who are ages 9 and above. So for students who are in drawing, sketching 1 basic, drawing, sketching 1, 2, or higher level students. This is a great way to get students started on digital drawing for those who are a little hesitant on doing some digital art. And we'll be also introducing some of the animation courses for more advanced classes as well. For this class, we will be using iPad, Apple Pencil, and Procreate softwares. And Procreate is such a great program to start off with because they are very simplified versions of a lot of the advanced programs. So once the students are able to learn Procreate, these can be applied to other programs such as Photoshop, Illustrator, Adobe Anime, and much more. And these files are also transferable as well. Some of the prerequisites that you're gonna need to take cartooning, manga, and character design classes. So for students who are interested in those classes during the school year, this class is needed in order to take those classes. Okay, so I'll be talking about the different level of the Procreate camp. So for the first camp, this is for students who are just starting Procreate app. So they just opened it, played around with it just a little bit. We will be teaching them the basics of how to use layers, clip art, clipping mask, colors, smudging tools, a lot of those tools to create an illustration piece. So a lot of the first few weeks of first few days will be really touching up on the basics of how to use the apps and sketching and drawing, and then we'll be more focused on the completing the illustration project as we go. And then once you learn the level 1 course, the level 2 courses will be adding a little bit of animation in it. So this is for students who understand layers, how to draw on Procreate, they know how to paint and all. We can actually teach them how to animate on the Procreate app. And then for our last level 3 will be the combination of both level 1 and number 2. And this advanced Procreate class will be introducing the basic principle of animation that they will be learning in college as well. So they'll be learning how to animate characters, objects, all the stuff while also incorporating the illustration as well. Here are some of the instructors' work from the last camps. So as you can see, you can start off with, we'll be teaching them how to sketch out the characters, understanding shapes and volume, kind of understanding the bone structure of it. And then we'll be using a different layer to outline the sketch to make it clean. And then we'll be using an additional layer for coloring, painting, adding some values by using the references that you see on the pictures. Here are some of the student example artworks from past camps, some amazing artworks done by the students. Here are some student animation work for this is more level 2 classes. And lastly, our advanced Procreate animation. This is available for, this is a 2-week camp, only available on evenings from Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And this level will be teaching more additional animation of how to move hands, body, objects, getting into the principles of animation. And this will be a great way to add on to the portfolios for those who are applying to colleges in the future. And before I get into the camp details, I would like to show you the themes that we're going to be doing. And a lot of these themes, the instructors, came up with it from talking to students, seeing what their interests are during the classes, and we kind of gathered all those interests together to create all the themes that's going to be available for the camp. So some of the camps that we are going to be doing for the theme, some more examples. So for our illustration level 1 class, we're going to mostly focusing on the Disney animation. Disney is such a great subject to start off with, especially for forming character designs of shapes, colors, both 2D and 3D. So we decided on the newest film for Pixar, Elemental. Some great 2D animation film of Lilo and Stitch to explore 2D art. And a lot of students like superheroes, so we decided, why not Big Hero 6, especially for those who wants to do more 3D painting. And for our digital art and animation, we decided on doing a little bit more of Japanese anime, film, and video game. And they both have some great 3D and 2D styling as well. So we'll be doing some great animes like My Hero Academia, Super Mario World that just came out last year, Studio Ghibli films, a variety of films with different styles. This is great for those who are really into the landscape. We'll be teaching a lot of that in here. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, another great video game with different styles. And lastly, Raya and the Last Dragon. Okay, and then going back to the schedule, for the digital art camp for the level 1 beginner and intermediate level, we have it available. We have 11 classes available. We have the 12 classes available for level 2 and 1 class available for our higher level 3 animation class. So all of these information can be is available on our website if you are wondering which theme is on which week. And for those who are interested more on the traditional art, we have some great programs that we have for acrylic painting and gouache painting workshops. These are available for drawing and sketching 1 basic or drawing and sketching 1 level students. We're going to be having 8 acrylic painting and gouache painting workshops, and those information are also available on our website. And I believe that is it on my end.
Thanks, Ms. Shasha. Next, we have Mr. Ryan, who will be introducing us about the summer art workshops. Hey, Ryan?
All right. Hello, everybody. So just really quick. So I'm going to be talking about our 2024 summer art workshops for ages 11 and up. So we have a lot of great information already presented, and so we're just going to keep moving forward here. So there we go. All right. So we have the different tracks that we're dealing with the summer art workshops. They're broken into the drawing and sketching track, the color series and painting track, digital art and animation, career exploration, and art portfolio. We'll talk about the individual tracks a little bit as we're going through the classes and taking a look as we go a little deeper into this. So about workshop tracks. So the tracks is a planning tool for multi-year summer art learning. So it's something to think about as we go forward here. If you've taken classes with us in the past, as it says here, practice makes perfect. So if you've taken an oil painting class and haven't done it for a while, we recommend that you continue and take another oil painting class or even a reintroduction and do it. And all the classes that I'll be talking about today are going to have a variety of levels that we're going to be talking about. So all levels, beginner, intermediate, advanced, and portfolio level classes. So we have a lot to cover. So we're going to talk about the drawing and sketching track first. So as we see, there's the schedule here that you'd be able to find on the website, but we also have a little bit more of a breakdown that we can talk about and kind of the different purposes of the different classes themselves. So drawing and sketch and painting. So the first class that we're going to talk about a little bit today is illustration with markers. So markers is a great kind of drawing tool to get into producing things at a high rate of speed, sketching, sketchbooks, gives the access to both value and color, but it's great for live sketching and basic illustration. It's a really easy way for people that have a lot of dry medium experience to get into color and get used to using color at a fast rate of speed. We have a lot of classes that I'm going to cover, so I'm going to move a little faster, but not too fast. So if I need to slow down, let me know. Portrait and figure drawing. So this is a foundational, fundamental class for anybody who's looking to pursue art as a major. Illustrators, animators, fine artists. We are going to be bringing live models in, great instructors for this class, and they cover a variety of different approaches. It's a traditional class using charcoal and timed drawings, basically, and dealing with multiple facets of dealing with the portrait and figure itself. Pen and ink with color street theme. So we're going to be dealing with a way to get into using pen and ink to sketch dynamic and engaging course designed to explore the lively medium of pen and ink. So from reference-based, you'll be practicing how to create form with pen and ink, following contour lines and adding probably general basic colors with it. I believe we have some examples on the other page. So we start seeing how they can deal with different forms, different mark making, different ways to generate different ways of depth and different marks to create like trees, to plants, to buildings, gradients of colors, and creating depth and atmospheric perspective. The next is pen and ink portrait. So we're dealing with the pen and ink based series for the drawing and sketch part. So it's taking those portrait-based skills that we've been learning in a lot of our once-a-week classes that you see and applying it to a different medium. So taking a lot of the same skills that you would be using within the landscape, hatching, following contours of the face, as well as dealing with plane changes and value changes. Once again, we have more student examples here, and you can see the different effects of practicing different things through it. Different value things, expressions. So pen and ink is a wonderful medium for good detail and good value range. Pen and ink with watercolor. So landscape and architecture. So this is a class where you'll be dealing with a lot of drafting and how to draw kind of foundational things around you. There's perspective-based drawing, but it's also how to use color to apply to that. It's also another great medium for people that want to do live sketching. So out in public and drawing things in front of you. You're capable of capturing things at a very quick rate of speed with this medium itself once you get comfortable with it. And this will be teaching you the fundamentals and foundations of how to use these mediums effectively. Also, pen and ink and watercolor is a classic comic book medium, so it can be applied into a lot of different ways once you really learn how to use it. And it'll be using a landscape, so more naturalistic landscapes, as well as architecture-based landscapes. So 1 point interior drawing. So linear perspective. It's a good introduction into linear perspective itself. It's a skill set that's usually taught within our AP classes. I'm getting ready to explain how it works, but we don't have to do that. So basically, it's going to be a line-based using pen and ink, measuring tools, how to draw convincing interior spaces using 1 point perspective, color-based, and value-based. This is also a class that if you do really well in this class, you can use it to kind of get a little bit ahead of the AP curriculum for the AP Prep curriculum that we'll talk about a little later. Sketching basics. So if you're new to all of this and you're a little older and you want to get into drawing, so you're 11 plus up, and you haven't really taken any drawing classes, and you want to take these more advanced classes, this is actually your first step. So sketching basics will cover basic forms, basic shapes, value patterns, darks to lights, plane changes, transparent as well as reflective objects. And it gives you a really good, strong foundation to step into the other classes from here within the drawing and sketch track. It's also the same foundations and fundamentals you'll be using to move into the color tracks. So this is the starting place for anybody who doesn't really have a lot of experience at this time, but is an older student. It does set you up, lays groundwork for DS1 level students, or it even can advance you up to a DS2. 2-point perspective architecture. So instead of 1 point, it's 2 points, and you're dealing with corners and depth. But we're going to be doing this to draw interiors as well as exteriors and to draw basic architectural forms. So a lot of times if someone's really interested in designing buildings, architecture, interior design, you have to have a really strong understanding of 1 point and 2 point perspective is kind of the foundation of building all of this. And they will once again be using the marker, pen and ink, pencils, things of that nature. So some of those other foundational classes are going to be really handy to jump into this as well. So we're going to continue down these tracks. So we have, as we said, the different schedules. You can see, as you see, which one is available to all levels. Some are beginner, intermediate, advanced. So you do have benchmarks to jump through to get to certain higher levels in the classes themselves. So we have the color series and painting track. So acrylic painting. So as Sasha was mentioning towards the end of her presentation, we also have the acrylic painting base track. So these are actually available for 9+, the acrylic and gouache, which we'll also take a look at that. Acrylic is a really, really great medium to introduce liquid and paint-based mediums. It's fast, it dries quickly, it's easy to function with, it has a good translucent to opaque levels. And I found that it's a really great way to introduce paint-based mediums instead of jumping into oil paint or some of the ones that can be a little bit more complex. So I highly recommend this to anybody who's really going to be, who hasn't gotten a lot of color experience yet, but has some basic color experience. But it's also really good with, as we said, we're lowering this. It's not an 11+, this is a 9 and over class. So, and they'll be dealing with fundamentals and kind of the intro into acrylic painting itself. There are more topic-based acrylic painting classes as well. So landscape will be focusing primarily on creating depth within the landscape, colors, how to use atmospheric perspective, layering, brushwork, and color mixing. So you're going to find that a lot of the different painting classes, they do have similar skills applied to different mediums. And so it's a good, important thing to kind of get into some of these early and start learning how to deal with brushes, liquid, and mixed colors. So we also see some really lovely paintings from students from the past through these. Now we get into some oil painting flowers. So oil painting flowers is not an intro class. You would have to have at least an intro painting to take this class. So it's an intermediate. So it's a really good course for texture, brighter colors, as well as brushwork. Really great landscape-based class where we can work from things from both life as well as photo-based references. So it's just, flowers are not an easy topic, but a fabulous topic for education, and really lovely paintings come out of this class on a regular basis. Oil painting flowers and birds. So a slightly more advanced version than just the flower-based class. Not slightly, it's a little more advanced. So basically people that want to dig into this topic a little bit more than just say the introduction into the flowers, we're adding new elements into it. Expectations go a little bit up as we go into this class. That parrot or cockatiel or whatever kind of bird it is fantastic, as well as the roses up there. So you're seeing the quality of things that are coming out of this class when you're looking at this. And I think that's important to kind of register as we look back, I mean, I can go back real quick just so you can see it. Like, these are lovely paintings, but as you jump over here, you start seeing that advancement as things start moving forward and they get a little bit more complex. So people that are really loving oil painting, or even if you started with acrylic and you want to start moving into oil, it is a good step. Acrylic is a good step into oil, in all honesty. This is getting into more advanced topics and more advanced application of paint. Oil painting landscape. So landscape is a big topic. It's one that we are going to cover quite a few times with a couple of different mediums. Landscapes definitely have a lot of kind of high technical difficulty to them. They take a little bit more patience, a little bit more information, particularly with these traditional mediums such as oil paint or acrylic. I do recommend taking this class if anybody is interested in any portfolio building of any kind whatsoever, supplemental or college. These tend to do really well in all forms of portfolios. So, but also not an intro class. We will be talking about the intro class, which is here. So oil painting for beginner and intermediate. So if you've never touched oil, this is where you start. You know, I mean, you can start with the acrylic or things of that nature as well, but you'd still want to step into this and learn how oil functions. Slightly different than the other mediums. It dries slower. It's really rich colors, really great color medium, really great brush handling. But we do this one from life, where you'll have photo as well as still lifes. We have more simple topics that you can really wrap your head around how these paintings work. You produce a number of paintings through the week. So I believe it's about 3 paintings through the week, so that you can really tackle a variety of topics and really get control of how to mix colors and how to manage your palette and how to clean everything and just all the introduction into what it encompasses oil painting. Also some black and white stuff and really transferring all those value-based tools. So oil painting pets and animals. So once again, just like the acrylic and just like the oil painting animals, we're getting to a more advanced class. So you have to have a good understanding and foundation with an oil paint, as well as the drawing and sketch classes, for you to really start tackling these more complex topics. And animals are definitely getting into a more complex topic than the basic still life. More textural. There's a lot of different moving parts here. There's proportional based issues that'll come up. Pets and animals tend to be a less stressful place to go to directly from learning at oil paint than, say, going to portraits or something of that nature. So I actually find that it's a really great stepping stone for students. And they get to handle a lot of different approaches. So highly recommend this. I love painting animals myself. It's one of the things that I enjoy. So oil painting seascape. So within this, you're going to start dealing with the same thing as the landscape, but you're going to be dealing with much more atmospheric and reflective based qualities, as well as the textural based qualities of water, which can add difficulty to it. So a lot of them are much more colorful. They have a lot of action with them, a lot of movement with them. So it's another really great portfolio based class for developing things as you go forward. So So let's open up the next one. So we have 2 different booklets here for color and series, the color track. We're going to get into gouache painting. So just like the other acrylic painting, this is one that is open for 9 and over and not 11 and over. Gouache is an amazing paint for you to get used to using. It's extremely versatile. I mean, gouache was even used by graphic designers pre-digital because it has such a high color rate and it's not very reflective, so it photographs really well. There's a lot of really good benefits to using gouache as an education-based paint to introduce color theory, color medium, paint handling, and translucent all the way to opaque-based painting and application. So this is another one that if you're, under the age of 11 plus and you want to get into painting early, gouache or acrylic are the 2 that you're really looking at, and they're amazing places to start and keep going. I still use gouache all the time. The soft pastel class, I believe this is taught in the evenings. I know last year it was. If that has changed, I'm wrong, sorry. So the soft pastel, the production in this class is fantastic. Just so everybody knows, it's high speed. They get a lot done in a very short period of time. The teacher of it is an amazing teacher who goes step by step through the process. And they're powdery soft pastels. So Students that have a little bit of color experience and a lot of charcoal experience, this is a great place for you also to go, because soft pastels are kind of like colored charcoal to a degree. There's subtle differences, but not a lot. And so using those value-based skills, rendering-based skills, proportion-based skills, and applying them into color with a medium that feels fairly comfortable stepping from charcoal. Great class. The work that comes out of that class has always been good. So quick sketch with watercolor. So as before, we talked about other mediums that we can also use for quick sketch, but this is a class that's specifically designed for how to capture things in front of you at a high rate of speed. So this is sketching tools. These are the cafe drawings, the stuff that, say, CalArts is looking for, and things like that within their sketchbooks themselves. They want you to be able to capture the world around you at a high rate of speed and it to be believable. And watercolor is a really great way for you to add simplistic colors, warmth and cools, lights and darks to create atmosphere and to really separate that space. Little bit of pen and ink, a little bit of pencil with it is also going to help these. So this is a really kind of fundamental class for anybody who's looking to be an art major. Your ability to draw in public is super, super important, but your also ability to sketch things at a high rate of speed and get your ideas down on paper. So it's a good skill set to have no matter where you are, where you're going, what you want to be doing. Watercolor pets and animals. So we're starting to focus in on using a specific medium being watercolor, which is a very unforgiving but beautiful medium. So it's one that so you're going to use like translucent kind of mark making, going lights to darks, and kind of capturing these different elements with it. It's really good at creating light and reflections. So another one, so want to step into this with a little bit of experience with watercolor, but it's actually a really great class to kind of push those skill sets even further. Watercolor, flower, and birds. So much like I was speaking with oil paint, things start getting a little bit more advanced with the watercolor-based painting and what we are trying to capture. So more like landscape-based things, simple flat, not simple. As I said, flowers are not simple. Kind of basic flower shapes, birds, and how to overlap and use these colors more effectively. Watercolor landscape. So larger environments, compositional elements, creating depth with value and color, as well as edge control based stuff. So we're going to be kind of delving into this, like kind of one of fundamental skills of one of the core three. So landscape, still life, portrait, animal. So if you're really getting into watercolor, you're really enjoying watercolor, this is a way to really up your watercolor skills and handling much more complicated topics. And then watercolor for beginner intermediate. So this is the starting place for watercolor. So all those other classes we were talking about before, this is where you start. You have to learn these basic foundational fundamental skills to move forward. How to mix paint, how to clean your brushes, how to take care of everything, how to match colors, match values, different scales, different isolating different objects, and how to paint them. The basics for everything that we've talked about with all the landscape and pets and animals and flowers and all that kind of stuff starts here. So we're going to move on to the digital art and animation track. So we have 3D modeling. So this is a introduction into 3D modeling and Maya itself. So 3D modeling is a very, very useful skills for a variety of different professions and college portfolios. If this is something you're really interested in, this is kind of your starting point. I highly recommend that people take this, but also college students. If you're looking to be an entertainment designer, you need to know how to 3D model. Like, just so you can paint on top of it. They will build characters and build environments and use them to then paint on top to speed up their line of production. So where a lot of people are thinking that, you know, say if you wanted to pursue something such as entertainment design or animation or things of that nature, and you're thinking you only need some digital painting and animation skills, a little bit of 3D modeling goes a long way to speed up your production. And I've seen it again and again. I highly recommend that any student who's looking to go into production-based arts at least has a fundamental understanding of this topic. Okay, so we'll be building a lot of very interesting, fun little models. The grayscale models you see here, painting on top, but it can also help you with your perspective and help you with other elements such as you're building them forward. So digital art, beginner, intermediate. So if you've never touched digital, this is where you go. This is also a foundational course that serves as a prerequisite for students that want to take digital art based classes over the school year. So if you want to take digital art, you want to get into Photoshop and digital painting and all the different aspects of it, you have to take this camp. These skills are required for also anybody who's curious about going towards art majors and things of that nature. But I highly recommend it for everybody. I mean, as even a fine art painter, I use digital constantly. So it's a good tool to have in your toolbox, no matter what you may be producing. And they're going to cover a variety of topics to introduce these different skill sets to you. So, and I believe they use Photoshop as the core skill. Yeah, they do. So the professional standard based materials, and you learn how to navigate it and how to function with it to the strongest ability you have. We also have digital art intermediate advanced. So this is the next step, basically, to even push those skills further. Getting into more larger environments, painting with the skills, texture-based things with the skills, and a lot of other stuff. So it's basically just taking that Photoshop skills and strengthening it. So I highly recommend, as I said, for all art majors taking these two classes and then branching out from there. Digital art environment painting. So this is very much in the realm of, say, entertainment design and building environments for larger schemes such as animation, entertainment design, but also for comics and for other things. We all use these skills. So it's environment painting is landscape painting, but it can be smaller, intimate environments to big landscapes. So although we're seeing the bigger landscapes here, it can be everything to just like an office space or an interior space. So how do you use the tools most effectively to use your layers, use your paints, use all these things to create depth? But also this is a very fast way to approach these things. So environment painting compared to, say, the oil painting, landscape painting, it's much faster rate of speed, much faster rate of production, which is the primary reason we see digital art used. Cartoon, manga, and character design. So I know everybody who likes comics and animation wants to get into this one. So what are the steps? There is an actual systematic process that you can go through to build effective characters. And we show you from step 1 all the way to final to character lineups and turnarounds. So a lot of people, when they design characters, including myself when I was a kid, just kind of jumped in with both feet and kind of went for it and not really knowing what these steps are. Knowing these steps will make you make stronger characters. So anybody who's interested in animation, entertainment design, or comics, highly recommend taking this class. Also, taking the figure drawing before you take this class will be really handy. So, advanced Procreate animation. I believe this is the same one that's like the evening based class. So it's the older base for this one itself. So they'll be getting into much more complex animations and using their Procreate skills to push those even further. So we've still got 2 more tracks, everybody. So we have career exploration track. So career exploration track are for you art majors out there. If you're curious about fashion design, you're not really sure what it entails, take fashion design. Hands-on, you're going to design clothes, you're going to sew, you're going to build things from scratch there in the class that you will take home with you. You will take your concepts from paper to actual cloth and models. Okay, and you'll take you a step-by-step of kind of what this is about. How does this function? A lot of times we have a vision of what they are. This will make you really know what it is when you walk out and know what your expectations will be. Architectural design, same thing. So we're going to be building models and mock-ups. You'll be taking your designs and bringing them into 3D space using materials from cardboard to simple wood to things of that nature. And what is it? So what is architectural design and what it encompasses? What are we designing for? We're designing for people and spaces people exist within and outside of, and how it occupies space within cityscapes and things of that nature. They are going to be building their own mock-ups and going from square one to the final, so from paper to a 3D model. So anybody interested in architecture, and I know there's quite a few students out there that are, that's the one we're going for. Some graphic design. This is also the architectural design. So over here, some graphic design. So intro to graphic design, it's one that a lot of people are very interested in. There's a lot of different moving parts to graphic design, from layouts to typography to simplification to how to use art for communication and building menus to websites to web pages to album covers to you name it. A graphic designer has usually touched it when it gets into package design and marketing. So there's a lot of really good examples here of different things students have developed over the years. We're developing their own logos, which is a good kind of core thing, to even developing a menu-based thing to break it down so people can visualize it. A lot of graphic design is about clearly communicating your point to the public and in a concise way they understand really quickly. So a lot of simplification in design, a lot of typography, a lot of layout. Digital skills are kind of a must. So it gives you a good taste of what graphic designers do on a day in and day out basis. So people interested in that topic should be jumping into that. User interface, user experience. So this is a class we've had for a couple of years now, UI UX design. So apps, how do you navigate them? How do you make them intuitive? How do they look? So everything from visuals to how to navigate, like what are those different pieces? From what I understand, the class is super, super good to take for people that are interested in this, want to explore it. It uses graphic design based type skills for what you're thinking about, but I believe they use Figma to do it. So from what I understand from what students have told me, it's very intuitive and something they can kind of jump in and learn fairly quickly, particularly if they have other digital skills already in place. So it's the combination of kind of communication design and graphic design, as well as, I mean, we're all on our phones. We know what's going on at times, how to navigate it and how to make it intuitive. So it feels like you know what you're doing when you look at it at a really high rate of speed. So last but not least, we also have, oops, my bad. Oh, there we go. We have the AP Art portfolio track. So a couple of different things here. So first off, there is the AP Art boot camps and open studios. So this is basically where it's kind of a catch-all class. There's a couple things happening here at once, so everybody knows. It is AP Art boot camp. So people that are going to take AP prep and want to get ahead of their AP prep schedule, this is a class you could take to get further ahead there. If you're taking AP Studio Art in high school the following year, it's highly recommended that you get somewhere between 3 and 4 pieces done over summer to get ahead of your portfolio. This is the class you'd want to be taking for that. But then there's the open studio aspect of this, where students that want to say do more oil painting, or they want to get a little bit stronger in foundational classes that they have some understanding in, they want to push it even further. This is a class you can also do that in. It's also for anybody who's building college portfolios, whether they be supplemental portfolios or for art schools themselves. This is also where you're looking to go to build the kind of the overarching portfolio itself. Although there are other individual camps that will be hugely beneficial to those portfolio creations. So when we see work from a variety of students here, I think I jumped it. Oop. Oh, no. So you see a lot of different things. These are all things that have shown up in portfolios for colleges and also used for AP Studio Art itself. We have the mixed media art class. Now, the mixed media art class is a fantastic class for anybody who needs a good creative boost to their portfolio or just want to know how to play with mediums in a new way. So I've seen tons of supplemental portfolios use these, as well as college portfolios. A lot of college portfolios want to see a dose of creativity thrown in there. And they use a variety of mediums. So dry mediums, wet mediums, collage, printmaking. You can come up with something creative and talk to the instructor. I'm sure they can figure something out for you and how that stuff layers together. So I do a lot of mixed media work myself. We're seeing examples from students. And you see a lot of really good, strong work being presented here using technical skills, color theory-based skills, layer-based skills. These tend to do very, very well in supplemental portfolios to demonstrate creativity and problem solving. Scratchboard. So Scratchboard is kind of flipping everything on its head. So Scratchboard is what engravers do for thumbnailing. So it does have a practical purpose outside of what other people are using, but it's your marks are white. You're drawing into your lights. Instead of going from light to dark, you're going dark to light. The surface you're on is a black surface that you scratch through to expose a white-based surface underneath that's very, very bright and vivid. They tend to use the same mark making skills as pen and ink, so hatching, cross-hatching, stippling, things of that nature. It's very good at texture, but it's also really good at kind of making students kind of have to reverse their thought process and look at their art in a new way. So they're learning how to function using light marks instead of dark marks on their work. This is something painters and digital artists have to do as well. So having to force to flip that entire thing around on a traditional surface will boost all of those other skills too. So at this point, we're going into Q&A. So that is the final one here. So if people have further questions, now's the time to start asking. I will stop sharing my screen and we can open it up. You're muted, Jason.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan.
No
For
problem.
folks who are having questions, there are a couple of ways you can ask your question. You can type it in the Q&A session, or you can just press the raise hand button on your Zoom, and then I will unmute you and you can ask questions. Okay.
Yeah, in the first Q&A question, I saw that artist information same for next year. Every year we will have a little bit different information, just like yeah. So every year we will adjust according to like students need. So, and also, will you be sharing this recording? Yes, we will. Do students have to choose a track or can they select classes from different tracks? Yeah, they can choose a track and according to that, and they can choose like a different kind of track according to their level or their interest. And if I'm taking AP Art, do I need to transfer the credit to my high school?
All right. This question, there are a couple aspects of that. Ichen Art Academy is a accredited, program. We offer accredited APR course. What that means is if you take the course at our school, this is a 9-month program, you will earn 10 credits, and for each quarter you at our school, you will get a letter grade. And at the end of that, you will have we will provide you with a transcript that you can submit to the college that you want to apply to. Okay, this is because our program is accredited by College Board, and our school is also accredited by WASC. That's Western Association of Schools and Colleges, right? So that means the credit you earn at our school will be accepted by colleges that you want to apply. But having said that, whether the credit that you get from our school can be reflected on your high school transcript, that will be pretty much depend on the school district and their transfer policy. To be conservative, I would say more likely the answer will be no, because most public schools especially, they don't want to have a competition. And so they really set a lot of barriers, because otherwise, and a lot of students, they will go outside to earn the credit, right? The school will lose funding and so on and so forth. So, but if you are students who, just want to take the course and get a good credit and also save time, you can take it at our school. Otherwise, we have also students take the accredited course at their day high school, but then in the meantime, they also enroll at our school to get guidance for their APR portfolio. That's also possible. Okay. Yeah, the next question is each course workshop is 1 week. So if they are traveling in June, they can take classes in July. Well, yeah, you can sign up for those workshop or camps on a weekly basis. You just pick which week you're available and then find the course available to that week, and then you can sign up for it. Okay. When does the registration start? We already started the registration, and the registration form is on our website. Yeah, you can start the registration right now. The next question, can you help us choose a course according to our child's interest and level? Yes, this one I already mentioned. If your child is already on grade 8 or higher level, you can sign up for a 15-minute free consultation. If you are grade 7 or lower, you're welcome to stop by our office, and our office staff will help you, and after talking with you, help you choose the appropriate level program. Okay. What is the next question? What is the schedule for AP Art? Do I show up once a week or several times a week? Okay, if you are talking about the AP Art prep, that course, that's a once a week. Each time is 3 hours. The schedule is on our website. We have Saturdays and Sundays, morning, afternoon, and morning and evening, and also Sunday morning and evening. But if you're talking about the accredited AP, those are twice a week on Tuesday and Thursday from 5 to 7. So 4 hours a week. Okay, 2 hours each, Tuesday and Thursdays. All right. Any other questions?
Anyone has any question? Yeah, all of us, all of our teacher would be happy to help you to select the class if you need help. And also our office staff can also help you if you have no idea how to pick your label. All right, and we will send this recording to everyone, like when the recording comes out. Okay, so thank you for participating tonight's webinar, and wish everyone has a great evening.
So we do have one more question asked. If I have no experience with color but want to take AP Art, is it enough to just take the beginner oil painting workshop? No, it's not enough. The beginner oil painting workshop to fulfill the color requirement is probably not going to be enough to kind of understand color well enough unless you have a lot of color experience coming from another medium. So say if you've been using color pencils or chalk pastels, then you learn oil painting and you have that color experience, and that may be enough at that point. The main thing to do with the color experience for the AP Art is for you to kind of show us a couple of different pieces, 3 minimum, of different color-based pieces, so that we can actually assess what your color usage is, how good you are at it, and if whether or not it's strong enough to be an AP. So the class is not enough as a requirement by itself. It's about how well you use the medium itself. I think another question showed up. So yeah, you're going to want to take the beginner intermediate. So you don't want to jump right into animals or something like that with oil painting. If you don't have any oil painting based experience, take the beginner intermediate class first. You'll feel overwhelmed jumping into animals directly. Okay. You may be good enough, say, from other drawing things that you can draw an animal, you can even do it. But if you don't understand just the fundamentals of how painting functions, it's not going to cover that in the animal painting class. You're supposed to know that already walking in. So you have to take the beginner intermediate, which is also a prerequisite to be taking the oil painting classes over the normal school year as well. So I highly recommend that you take those beginner. If you see a beginner intermediate level and you've never used that medium, whether it's watercolor, digital, oil paint, take the beginner intermediate class. Okay. That's going to give you the fundamentals for you to step forward and do more with it in these other advanced classes, and you'll feel much more comfortable.
All right. Yeah, so if you have further questions, feel free to send them in and we will have them answered for you. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much.
I guess. Real quick, because I was assessing the last question just to clarify,
Mhm.
make sure that they get their answers. Like they're asking if they did the beginner class, would they be able to the next week just go into the animal class?
Yes. Yeah, you would be able to.
Okay.
So then the second week is moving to animals, moving to flowers or things like that. So they're going to have, like, you'll take the beginner intermediate class as your introduction. And then you can start, we can assess kind of where you are. You can definitely take flowers or animals moving into the next step. But I'd say if you wanted to start taking more advanced things past that, we should probably look at what you're doing to make sure you're ready for it as well. Like jumping into a heavy duty landscape or cityscape type class might be overwhelming if you've only taken beginner intermediate painting, for instance. But definitely doing flowers and animals would work really well. Sorry if I misread that earlier to whoever asked it. So.
Okay.
Oh, another one.
Any more question?
Yeah, I think there's one more just asked.
Okay.
Yeah, if you don't have a lot of experience with one of the say beginner oil painting twice, if you took beginner oil painting last summer, for instance, and you just haven't painted all school year, 9 months of nothing, probably a good idea to take it again, quite frankly. Now, if you've been painting regularly, then no, you don't have to take it again. But I mean, it's not like riding a bike, you know, it's not a distinction of that nature. It's a practice skill. It's more like sports. It's more like things like that. You have to consistently be producing to keep those skills moving. And so the knowledge might be in your head, but your hand-eye brain connection for all of it is just not going to be there. And so I highly recommend taking it again or taking an open studio and playing with paint for a week. But the beginner intermediate is going to be the better option for that, in my opinion.
Yeah, because even because I don't do oil painting very often, but I still take like oil painting for beginner. I think 3 or 4 times already. Every
Yeah.
summer, I just like refresh my skill.
Yeah, I mean, and it's the same thing for me. Like if I haven't painted for a couple weeks, I'll go paint an apple just to get everything moving again. Like I don't jump to the hardest thing I can possibly come up with paint. I'm like, I've been doing digital and other things for a little bit. So I do a small little painting just to warm it up again. It's the same concept. So even people, professionals like ourselves that have a lot of experience doing this, you get rusty. And I mean, if you've only taken one class, you're going to be like super rusty. So I highly recommend doing it again.
All right. Okay, any question? All right, thank you for everyone to be here tonight. And when we have the recording, we will send it to all of you. All right, thanks.
All right. Good evening. Good night.
Have a good evening, everybody.
Thank you,
Yeah,
bye-bye.
thanks for attending.
Bye.
Bye.